Hello and welcome to the Praetorium, the first full party dungeon that we will be going over on this channel. I will be here for the full 45 minutes of this dungeon. Wait, what did I say? That's right. This dungeon will take 45 minutes at minimum. Please make sure that you dedicate enough time to this dungeon. You cannot skip the cutscenes in this dungeon, and it will take you, again, 45 minutes. So, as you can see, we are going to have to go through some stuff here. These cutscenes cannot be skipped. I'm going to walk you through the entire dungeon as a tank from beginning all the way to end, and if you're watching the video on YouTube, which you probably are, might be, I hope, I will edit it down so you won't see all of the cutscenes. I'll leave this one up here in the back just for the beginning. And yes, we will go ahead and get started here with the Praetorium. Praetorium? Whatever. We're going to start out by turning on tank stance, eating some food, and waiting for everyone to finish their cutscenes. From here, we are going to go left, and we are going to skip these mobs here. We'll be doing a lot of skipping, and we'll go right to the Magic Tech Terminal, right-click on it, activate the lift, and go on down. Just skip the first hole. And we're going to continue to do that as we go through this dungeon. There are several areas that we can skip, which we shall, because this dungeon is long enough as it is. So right here is the first time we're actually all going to fight something, and everything's just going to die very quickly, so you don't have to really do much here. I will go ahead and pick up the identification card, and somebody else will go ahead and hit the key switch. Or the whatever that is. Through the hole in the wall to the right. And then to the left. From here, I'm going to activate Sprint. And we're going to run all the way around the outside of this thing. I'll go ahead and pick up aggro and use arm's length. And we're going to go down here. We're going to go down, down, and down again. And we're going to keep on going down this ramp. From here, this is a little bit of a tricky part. We're still in the skipping process. We're just moving from one transporter to the next. But here you kind of have to be fast. You got to right-click up. You got to right-click on that transporter. Get the transporter. Right-click on it, and then click yes. If you take damage when that dialog box is up, it's going to disappear, and you have to do it again. So here we actually do have to fight these. I'm just going to use my AoE abilities to do so. Not too much we have to do here. It's just regular old trash mobs. It looks like one of our tanks died. I don't know why. That's super weird. I'll pick up the identification card, and then somebody else will use the to open the door. And here is where we will enter a cutscene. Now, I am going to skip these, but for this first cutscene, I want to explain why the cutscenes are here and why you can't skip them. You kind of have to think about this from a new player's perspective. If you're a new player coming into this game and you're doing this dungeon for the first time and everybody else has already done it, you're going to kind of feel a little bit bad dragging everyone down. Everyone's going to have to wait just for you, and everyone's here just for the experience or the tombstones or whatever they're here for. So to kind of solve for that and to make it so the new players that are doing this dungeon for the first time don't feel like they are dragging everyone behind, everyone is going to sit through these cutscenes and go through this dungeon. Do I think this is the best solution to the problem? Thank you for asking. I would love to share my opinion on the internet. The answer is no. I don't think this is the best way to do this, is to make everyone sit through all the dialogue boxes and the cutscenes. So how do you find the middle ground between taking care of new players that have never done this content before, and yes, it is 10 years old, and players that are here for just the rewards, which is just experience and tombstones and gil, or whatever you're here for? Well, the game knows whether or not someone is new to a duty, right? We talked about that in my other playlist where I was talking about the Wondrous Tales journal. And if someone hasn't done a duty before, you actually get a reward for that. So the game knows if people are new to a duty or a trial or a raid or not. In my opinion, if the game knows that and everybody in here has done this before, then we should be allowed to skip the cutscenes. This way, no one is missing anything, nobody has to feel bad, and we can get some time of our lives back. Instead, we have to watch all of these cutscenes and go through all of this dialogue, even though I've seen it 100 times. Maybe not 100. A little bit less than that. But yes, I think there is a better way to do this. But unfortunately, here we are. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop talking now, and we are going to get back to tanking. So when it comes to tanking bosses and stuff here, you really don't have to do all that much. There's enough people here where you're just going to get healed through any sort of damage. For good measure, you can always point something back away from the party, but things are going to die so fast that nothing is going to be like totally critical or going to wipe the raid. So that's all you have to do for that guy. As you can see, complicated stuff. Okay, we're going to go ahead and skip through another cutscene. And we're back. We're going to have everyone jump onto this elevator. Don't activate the elevator until everyone is on board. There you go. And now we'll activate the Magitech terminal and head on down. From here, we're going to go left off of the elevator. Pretty much follow this glowing tank right here. We're not going down this ramp. We're going straight this way toward the big Colossus. Continuing to chain pull, this will all be wall to walls. No matter where we are, we will attempt to wall unless we can skip it. So here we are at the next door. We will just use our AoE abilities. Once we kill everything, the last mob will drop the identification key. I'll go ahead and pick that up, and looks like I will also activate the terminal too. Oh no, somebody else did. From here, make a right, go up the stairs, and right-click on this identification key reader. The first time I did this dungeon, I missed this. It will say you are now authorized to operate the Magitech armor, and now you can go up the elevator. Looks like everyone is here. But make sure you get the key card from there. That's very important. You'll miss everything if you don't get that key card. Once you get to the top of the elevator, right-click the Magitech armor and click yes, and then we'll go through another cutscene. Once you are back from the cutscene, you will now be piloting Magitech armor. You will have two abilities, a Magitech cannon and a photon stream. The stream is just a little machine gun that shoots out stuff right in front of you, and you can feel free to use that however you want. You can use it indiscriminately. There's just a short cooldown on it, and when you use the Magitech cannon, you get a target marker, and then from here you can use that to deal massive damage. Boom! Basically, we're going to just go the only way that we can go at this point. From here, we turn right, and we are going to start using our Magitech cannon to blow up this wall. Everyone does the same thing, and we will proceed through here. At this point, we are on a single path, so not too much to do or talk about. Continuing through the path. From here, there will be some arms that will get in your way. We will need to use our Magitech cannon to blow them up. If you try to pass through this without blowing up the arms, they will scoot you back. But as you can see, this goes very fast because everybody has the armor and everyone's doing massive damage here. Continuing to proceed through, using the cannon as often as you like. It's really only a 1.5 second cooldown. I actually think it's less than that. Another arm right here. See? If you try to pass, it'll scoot you back. From here, we will use the cannon one last time to blow through a door, and then we will watch another cutscene. And we're back. We are going to proceed into the next boss area, which is just before us. Looks like everyone's sprinting, so I'll go ahead and sprint too. Into another cutscene. And we're back. We've watched a very long cutscene, and now we are going to limit break Nero, Toll, Scavia. Looks like the tank wants to pull him way back here. I'm sure. Nothing wrong with that. Oh wait, that's right. The edge of this area is all electrified. I've never done this before, so this will be interesting to see how this ends up. Looks like it's not a huge deal, but we usually just tank them right there in the center. Not really sure what the benefit is behind this, but I guess it's not hurting anything. Not too much to that fight as well. And we will watch yet another cutscene. We are back from another cutscene, and we are about to enter another cutscene, if I remember correctly. Yes, we use the Magitech terminal just for a moment, and then we will go into a rather long cutscene that is voice acted. So I will save you the trouble, and we're back. So I'm just going to face the boss away from everybody and tank. That's it. If you'd like to back out of this AoE, you can. It doesn't look like anyone's going to. I guess the bleeding or the burn damage doesn't really do that much, and it looks like I lost aggro on this, and the other tank is just going to tank it. That's perfectly fine. We don't need to switch. We don't need to juggle aggro back and forth or anything like that. The next part of this dungeon is Ultima Weapon. All we have to do is pull aggro, turn him around, and dodge. There will be a lot of dodging in this fight. And that's really it. Everything else you can heal through. As at this point, he does still have armor. This is why you're seeing yourself only deal minor points of damage, 7, 3, whatever. So the only thing that you have to do is just attack, and the armor will eventually break, and then everybody will start to deal damage to this, and then the fight will end as, a normal fight would at this point. But we're just going to keep on attacking, waiting for that armor to break. There it goes. The armor has broken. Everyone is now dealing full damage, so we can just... there's nothing else that we have to do here. It's just tank and spank. I know there's not really a whole lot to talk about here in the Praetorium, but this is one of the earliest dungeons in the game, so you're really only just juggling your abilities at this point. This fight's now half over, and there aren't any mechanics to really worry about. You don't have to worry about tank busters or anything like that. This is all we're going to do, just tank and spank. If you are so inclined, you can stand off of those, the AoE attacks, but it's not really going to matter. You're not going to get killed here. And I said there was a lot of dodging in this fight. It's phase 2 of this fight, to be clear. not really a whole lot going on here in Phase 1, obviously. You can kind of see that. After you bring them down, there will be another cutscene, and we will take on Phase 2 after the cutscene's over.
Such devastation! This was not my intention!
After a very lengthy cutscene, we will head into Phase 2 of the Ultima Weapon fight. This is the one where there's a little bit more dodging to do. We'll ensure that everybody loads in after the cutscene, and then I will just go ahead and pull aggro, turn the boss around, and continue to go through my normal rotation here. So what this fight is really teaching you is how to point the boss in a certain direction while also using your abilities as they come off of cooldown, while also dodging stuff as well. So you're actually doing 3 things at once here, and if it's new to you, it might be a little bit tough, and that's totally fine. Not a big deal at all. But for those of us that have been playing this game for a while, this is not terribly crazy. But as you can see, there's a lot of moving and a lot of dodging, and as the tank, you're doing those 3 things at once. So you want to try to ensure that you're pointing the boss away, dodging all of these attacks, while also using your abilities. After a quick fight, there will be another cutscene. This one is not as long as some of the other ones, and then we will end with La Habrea.
No, no, no!
Yes! And this is going to be the end of the Praetorium. This fight here with La Habrea is incredibly short, and nothing happens. Everyone just kills him immediately, and the fight is over. So, just wanted to thank you for sticking around for as long as you have. I used super. Why not? So thank you for sticking around for this entire video. If you have, I hope you learned something about this dungeon and why it is the way that it is, and what paths to take and what to click and whatnot. So hope to see you in here, and hope you enjoy tanking in Final Fantasy XIV, even if there's a lot of cutscenes in the way. But that is really going to do it for this video. See, lol, belied. Good game. Thank you for party. It's funny. So that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.